The issue of Nnamdi Kanu's detention has continued to generate significant debate in Nigeria, particularly among political elites, with various individuals and groups expressing divergent views on whether he should be released or remain in prison. Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has been in detention since 2021, despite a court of appeal ruling for his release. The government has argued that his detention is necessary for national security, while many political figures, particularly from the southeast, have demanded his release, citing legal, humanitarian, and security reasons. This discussion will explore the range of political elites and figures who have called for Nnamdi Kanu's release, as well as those who support his continued detention, providing a comprehensive view of the varying perspective on this contentious issue. Several prominent political figures have publicly called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, citing legal, humanitarian, and security concerns. Mr. Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State and presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, was one of the most vocal advocates.
I don't see anything why his continued detention, quite frankly, especially as the courts have granted him bail. Government must obey the law. Rule of law is an intrinsic asset that we must cherish and live with.
Obi stressed that the continued detention of Kanu, especially after the court had granted him bail, is contrary to the rule of law. He urged President Bola Tinubu to release Kanu and other individuals in similar conditions.
And I use the same opportunity to plea to government to ensure that all those who are in similar conditions are released and discussed with.
Highlighting that a democratic nation should not act arbitrarily, but in accordance with the law.
We're a democratic government. We shouldn't be doing things that are arbitrary and not within the law.
He also emphasized the need for government leaders to engage with all agitators to foster peace.
And I'm using the same opportunity to say, all those who are being held because of, say, NSAS protests and everything, or because of freedom of speech or journalists, should please be released immediately. We're a democratic country. People have a right.
Rochas Okorocha, a former Nigerian senator, also called for Kanu's release, urging Senate President Godswill Akpabio to take up the matter with President Bola Tinubu.
I want to say to you, my brother, in whom I'm well placed, Senate President, convey this one message on behalf of these Igbos who are seated, that the best way to honor this great young man is the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Okorocha pointed out that the call for Kanu's release has been a long-standing demand of Igbo leaders and stressed that it could help bring stability to the southeast, which has been plagued by insecurity. His sentiments were echoed by celebrity Bianca Ojukwu, also known as Cubana chief priest, who urged that Kanu's release was crucial for restoring peace in this region.
Socialite Bianca Ojukwu, popularly known as Obi Cubana priest, he has joined the chorus of Nnamdi Kanu's release. He has appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I beg, release Nnamdi Kanu because this is just too much for us in the southeast. He said he has not had access to his hometown for over 5 years now. So, Cubana priest appeals for Nnamdi Kanu's release.
Bianca Ojukwu, Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and wife of late Biafra leader Ohanaeze Ndigbo, also reiterated the importance of Kanu's release. She expressed confidence that President Tinubu understands that freeing Kanu will help curb the exploitation of his detention by criminals seeking to fuel violence in the region. Furthermore, the governors of the Southeast region, including Alex Oti of Abia State, Peter Mba of Enugu State, and Francis Mwefuru of Ebonyi State have called for Kanu's release. This stance is part of a broader regional consensus, with even Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State joining the appeal in January 2023.
In this regard, may I repeat my previous calls and hereby request our President-elect to please release Nnamdi Kanu immediately after swearing in. That is, if he is not released before then. We need him around the table as an important stakeholder in discussions about healing and sustainable peace.
A group of Southeast senators led by Senator Eninyanya Abaribe has also met with the Attorney General of the Federation, urging the release of Kanu. The lawmakers urge that his detention is exacerbating insecurity in the region and that releasing him would allow for social and economic revitalization.
The appeal is that this matter cannot be resolved legally, and if we continue with the legal wrangling, that it will continue to cause the insecurities, because the legitimate demand has been hijacked by criminals, undesirables, and all manners of elements who have used it to perpetrate their own nefarious deals on the rest of the people of the Southeast. Nobody in the Southeast likes what is going on. People cannot go out of their houses on Mondays. People are maimed and killed and all that. And some people are roaming around, killing even security men in the name of looking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu himself also confirmed to me last Monday that he never made any request of that nature that anybody should go and kill people. In fact, he was very pained that the Southeast is suffering because of this. And he assured me that when the day is out is also the day that they will now know those who are legitimate agitators and those who are criminal elements.
In June 2024, Ikenga Ugochinyere, the lawmaker representing Idato Federal Constituency, stated in a message sent to newsmen that approximately 50 members of the Nigerian House of Representatives representing multiple political parties penned a letter to President Tinubu urging Kanu's release. This letter pointed to the constitutional powers vested in the Attorney General to discontinue cases in the public interest, emphasizing that Kanu's release could lead to peace in the Southeast and contribute to national unity. Here are the names of those lawmakers who signed the letter to President Bola Tinubu urging the release of Nnamdi Kanu. These lawmakers represent various political parties, including Labour Party, LP, People's Democratic Party, PDP, All Progressives Congress, APC, and others. Ohanaeze Ndigbo, the Apex Igbo socio-cultural organization, has also played a key role in pushing for Kanu's release. The group accused some political elites in the Southeast of sabotaging the efforts to free him for personal gains, warning that the region's ongoing insecurity and economic challenges could worsen if these elites could not block a potential out-of-court settlement. Dr. Chike Obidibo, an industrialist and former Anambra State governorship aspirant, criticized some Southeast Igbo politicians for worsening Nnamdi Kanu's situation. He argued that their approach to his release is driven by self-interest and ignorance rather than genuine concern. Obidibo emphasized that Kanu's case requires quiet diplomacy, not politicization, and that key international players like the National Security Advisor, UK, USA, China, and Russia should be involved in the process. He also highlighted the British government's role, giving Kanu's British citizenship, and expressed disappointment at the UK's silence on extradition from Kenya, suggesting economic interests in Nigeria might be prioritizing over Kanu's right. Obidigbo concluded that any release of Kanu without addressing the demand for a referendum would not bring lasting peace and could prolong the struggle for Biafra. While many political leaders have called for Kanu's release, there are also individuals and groups who support his continued detention. primarily citing national security concerns. The federal government has consistently defended Kanu's detention, arguing that his case touches our national security and his release could pose a risk to the country. In a 2022 affidavit, the government described Kanu as flight risk and contended that any case involving national security could override individual rights. The government also pointed to the case of Asari Dokubo, where the Supreme Court held that individual rights could be suspended if national security is threatened. Once there is a threat to national security, human rights of any individuals can be suspended until such threat is taken care of. Once security of the nation is in jeopardy, the individual's right may not even exist, federal government argued through its lawyer, Mr. David Kwaswe, as an assistant state counsel in the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. The debate over Nnamdi Kanu's detention remains deeply divided, with political elites across Nigeria presenting contrasting viewpoints on his release, while many from the southeast and various political parties argue that freeing Kanu could restore peace, address regional grievances, and foster national unity. Others, particularly within the federal government, maintain that his continued detention is necessary for national security. As the situation continues to evolve, the resolution of these issues will likely depend on the ability of Nigeria's political leadership to balance legal principles, regional demands, and national security considerations. Ultimately, the future of Nnamdi Kanu's detention may set a significant precedent for how the Nigerian government handles similar cases of political dissent and agitation. What's your stance on Nnamdi Kanu's detention? Do you think he should be released or not? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Join us again next time on Let's Talk Politics on Naija Anchor News as we continue to highlight political issues that matter most to Nigeria's progress.